evening, everyone. It is Thursday, June 17th. We have the City Council Urban Affairs Committee meeting. We have 3 items on our agenda. However, one of them, at the request of the applicant, is not being taken up tonight. That is order number 21-108-277, the application for site plan review from attorney Brian Falk on behalf of Woohoo to construct a multi-use project within the Marlborough Village zoning district at 28 South Bolton Street. So that will be back on our agenda when the petitioner is ready. The next item is order number 17-21-100-6800I, which is the application for modification of a special permit by Minor Property Group LLC to condition number 20 signage to allow for the increased signage at 408 Maple Street for Meineke Muffler. I believe we have the petitioner here. He has some slides, and if he has anything you would like to present, you can go ahead.
Good evening. Thank you for being here in person. Mina Property Group owns the property at 408 Maple Street. Previously, we went through a very extensive special permit application for a new building and signage, and one of the issues at that time was signage. And what has happened now is Automax is the current tenant at this location. However, Mina Property Group has entered into a contract with Meineke Muffler. The signage I'm asking for you to consider and to review is for the additional sign that is typically on their franchise buildings, so that it makes it consistent with other buildings and with their marketing efforts. So what you can see now on this screen, this is the current signage. This is on 85 directly. This circle is vinyl and paint. What will happen, and I'll show you on, no, I guess it's going to be a slide, but none of this will change, only the inserts will be changed to say Meineke and be in the yellow and black. On the front of the building. Oh, I'm sorry. On the front of the building, where you see Automax and Service Center, that merely will say Meineke Service Center, so that will effectively stay the same, except for it will be Meineke Service Center instead of what you see now. What I'm hoping.
That should come out of there, right?
Okay. I don't want to break anything. So what this will be, as I just said, the front of the building that you're seeing, Automax Service Center, this will read Meineke Car Care Center, because they call all their franchises car care centers. So what they're asking us to be allowed to do, unfortunately she can't see. Oh, okay, is add the additional Meineke Car Care Center on the front of.
It's slow, but it is up there on that
So
screen.
that'll be, the one he just went by will be what will just get changed. The sign will stay exactly the same, just Meineke Car Care Center will be, the vinyl that says Automax Service Center now will become Meineke Car Care Center in yellow and black. So the next slide, which he had perfectly, so this is really what's being discussed here, that top illustration, Meineke Car Care Center, so you see it when you're coming down Route 85, and then over each bay, there's effectively just signage that you see here, which says brakes, alignment, oil change. The one thing that was, of those of you that remember this, illumination was a serious issue. None of these signs will be illuminated. They will be flat and they will be consistent with what's on the building now. So obviously during the day you'll see it. The only illumination is a halo within the sign that's on 85 because the previous council didn't want anything from the ground. We didn't want it looking like McDonald's. So we think we've done a great job. If you ever drive by, I think the sign that's on 85 is with the granite and the oval is pretty impressive. And we think that being allowed to do this, to be consistent with other Meineke franchises, that we will keep, I mean, it's a brand new building. We want it to look sharp and we want to keep it obviously looking as kept as can be. So hopefully you will see that the application is to add these signs. They're consistent with what's there now. They're flat, but they are additional signage that we did not ask for in our first special permit. Thank you. If anybody has a question.
Councilors have questions? Councilor Doucette?
Thank you very much. So just for clarification, the Meineke sign on 85, this oval one, is not, the sign is not lit, but the oval is lit. And
Only the oval will be painted to read Meineke Car Care Center in yellow and black, but other than that, the sign will be
Okay.
exactly as it is.
And the sign that's in the front of the building is for Meineke Car Care Center, and that, right now, there's an Automax,
Sure, it says Automax Service
and
Center.
then car center, car repair, whatever,
Yep.
is diagonal to that. Meineke wants to put car care above Meineke, which is fine. I don't have any issues with over the garages, it's just, the additional sign, on the north side of the building, which is that one, that is a totally new sign, right?
That would be new. That would be new on the side facing.
Facing north,
Yes, facing north.
yeah.
So that would be new. That would be a smaller version of what would be on the front of the building on that side panel.
How, is the sign on the front of the building, the facing west, is that size sign similar to what the Automax sign is?
It pretty much the same. It's pretty much just apples and apples.
Okay, pretty
the
much
square
as in
footage
bigger
of-
or pretty much as in smaller?
No, I think what's here, I think the square footage, at least that was how they were instructed, the square footage of how they designed the sign on the front should pretty much match up apples for apples with the square footage of Automax Service Center now.
Okay. And that's not backlit at all, right?
Right.
Okay.
No, there's no electricity.
And the new sign that's on the north side wall will not be backlit either?
There'll be no backlit signs on this building at all.
Building. Okay. That's enough for me for now. So, thank you.
All right. I believe the measurements of the sign on the front of the building is 54 inches tall by 130 inches long. The new one going on the side is only 39 and a quarter by 96.5.
Okay.
So it is a smaller sign, but it
It's
is a new sign.
smaller,
It
but a
does,
little
nothing
taller, yeah.
exists there currently. Anybody else have questions? All right, everybody had originally received the existing special permit. I don't know if people brought it with them. We have a new special permit, a draft decision. It's a special modification that everybody received. So at the advice of our trustee aide, I did go through this, and I have a couple of questions on the difference between the two that I would like clarification on. So the very beginning thing is the change in the address, which I understand. The original one had a usual place of business at 400 Maple and 386. It's now 400 and 408. The original one in number 4 talked about the fact that the tenant operated a business for service, repair, and minor refinishing of automotive cars and trucks. Will that still happen when Meineke takes over the operation?
I know. I guess I think.
The mic.
I think in the first special permit, there is no refinishing, there's no paint work to be allowed. So it should read, that should be consistent that there wasn't any then and there isn't any now. There won't be any auto body or painting or refinishing of cars in this building.
All right, well, it does say minor refinishing, so I'm.
Oh, okay, I think, and now, as my memory brings me back to those days when we were going through all this, typically cars that are being repaired, they'll have a bumper painted, or they'll have something literally minor. If there's scratches to a bumper will get painted so that your used car looks more new. But that is the only reference. There would be a bumper or a mirror, but no major refinishing or auto body work.
So, and no painting.
No painting. Well, you end up painting like the bumper or the mirror, but it's not like an auto body operation.
Okay, because looking at the signs that you want to put above each of these, it doesn't say anything about auto repair. To me, it's a tune-up and it's
Yeah,
brake work.
there's
it's a
nothing
typical-
in any of the signage.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's an issue, because,
So brakes, oil change, tune-up, check engine lights, tires and alignments. There's no advertising for auto body or auto body repair or insurance work. It's not what Meineke does.
okay, but the original special permit still exists unless we remove that from it. Is that not, I mean, we're modifying, but the modification doesn't change what the applicant had in the original one for that specific
So
part.
the word minor would be accurate, because there will be no major, effectively, we send all our work to Apex, which is our abutter on River Street. We have no need to try to paint cars in this facility. But like I said, a bumper that's scratched or a mirror, that could be done within the facility without a major paint operation.
Okay, but I guess then the further part of this is that you will conduct business owned and operated for cars and trucks on land, it's cars and trucks on land owned by the applicant. All right, so anybody can walk into Meineke and have work done? It's not
Yes.
just for your cars that are being sold
Correct.
by Automax? Okay. The new number 7 that talks about the provision, it has the specificity of the dates. I think they're wrong. It says, on May 10th, 2021, the applicant filed with the city clerk to be placed on the city council agenda for May 24th. At the May 10th meeting, the council voted to schedule a public hearing. I believe the dates are on the city council. It was filed on April 16th, according to the date stamped by the city
Okay.
clerk. And the city council, it was on the city council agenda for April 26th. At the April 26th meeting, the public hearing was set for May 24th. So
Okay.
those can be corrected easily enough.
Okay.
I think, okay. On number 13, on page 3, and I guess this is a question for the solicitor because I'm not sure about it. It says the site is located on Route 85, Maple Street, and is bounded to the south by Walker and to the north by South Street. It's in the middle of the block, so it's really, the original language, I think, is what we want. It's bounded to the east by River Street.
Okay.
It's not bounded by Walker.
Okay.
But
That's an easy change, because it is bound by River
got
Street.
that corrected by,
Okay.
or checked by the solicitor. Okay, and then we get into the specificity of this based on the city council findings. What I guess we're really looking at is number 3, the existing signage, where it says that the existing street signage currently erected on the subject property is a monument-type sign, which should be single, that is consistent in size, layout, and design, including fonts, as is other existing signage on Route 85. The existing sign on Route 85 shall be merely refaced with the name Meineke. The additional existing Automac signage shall also be merely replaced with the name Meineke Service Center on the front of the buildings and shall meet the lighting criteria as set forth in the special permit. So I'm not sure if refaced is actually supposed to be replaced. Again, that language can be clarified by the solicitor.
Okay,
And
thank
I
you.
will ask him if we need to specify, the original permit talks about Exhibit 1 and Exhibit 2. So if they need to be referenced so that we're clear on which is which. Basically, what we're talking about is number 4, the new signage. Upon granting of this modification, there will be new additional signage of similar construction consistent with the existing signage currently on the building, on the side of the front left corner of the building facing Route 85, and 5 new signs over the 5 service bays. Everything else is
Madam Chair?
Counselor Doucette.
Thank you very much. Just as in, back to item 3, something was gnawing at me. There's a reference to that the sign is consistent in size and layout and design, including fonts. I'm assuming that the Meineke fonts are actually specific to the Meineke brand. That font, I'd rather just see the reference to font strike, because we
Okay.
don't have the same fonts.
Yeah, oh,
as
no, Meineke absolutely sent us very specific
Specific fonts.
fonts.
Yeah, so that, this is saying, oh, our font's gonna be like everyone else there. No, it's not,
Oh, okay.
so just as
I
clarification.
I think it was more in the fact that it's block letters. I don't think anybody thought through the font as a font.
Font is a
Right,
font,
Right,
so, yeah.
agreed.
Yeah, the other point is, there's an addendum A, which refers to the master plan with Automax, because the whole idea was Automax, this was part of an Automax rebuilding. Is that still appropriate?
It is actually, because now 386, it is being considered for repurpose, as is 400. So it hasn't changed, actually, that was the first step of the master plan, that until we got everybody out of 380.
I was surprised to see that flip now, because I expect it still to stay Automax,
No, getting the Meineke franchise has kind of changed the master plan a little, but not much. I mean, the buildings are both being intended to be repurposed now.
Okay, I was just wondering what the status is, and I appreciate the clarification. Thank you.
And I think that's a question that I would have for the solicitor, whether addendum A is appropriate for this special permit, because we don't really have anything to do with your plans. It's not like you needed to, the special permit is specific to one building. You have plans for other parcels. So if he says it's okay to keep it, fine. If not, then it may not be in there when it comes to us in final form.
Okay.
Any questions on what's been gone through? Councillor Landers?
Just a quick comment, Madam. Basically, I like your color scheme, I like your new signs, I like a lot about it. It wasn't what I expected per se. But basically, you do a lot of work with Apex.
Yeah.
I understand they'll do any auto body or anything like that.
Apex is our direct abutter on River
I
Street.
know that. They did a nice job on that.
Oh, they did a great, they bought the building.
Yeah.
Not only their building, which they've repainted and made look good, they bought the abutting building. And as a result of that, now Speedy Auto came from down the street and is now taking the corner where the Husqvarna dealership was. So now, pretty much that block is, other than the Hertz building, it's pretty automotive, and that's automotive, I guess, if you need to rent a car. But Apex is now renting cars too, so it's become
Yeah,
a good
it's amazing.
situation.
It looks so much better.
Oh, yeah.
Starting, with Apex, and
Well,
then,
the other thing too is the signs have gone up on River Street for no parking. I mean, a lot's going on there to increase the activity and what's going on
it
there.
makes a big difference.
Yep.
Those signs are working.
Yep, they are
All the
working,
way along there.
absolutely.
I think you're doing a good job there. I think it's gonna be good. That's all, Madam Chair.
Any other questions from anybody? Any motions from anybody?
Motion to approve?
All right, we have a draft decision. We do not have the solicitor with us, so we will wait to see if he has any points that have been brought up that he would make changes to this, but we can,
Should be motion to send to legal to get
we
it.
have to send to legal anyway, so, to be put in proper form.
Okay.
Which would probably be done at Monday's meeting. I don't really want to rush this through, which means we have a meeting on Monday, we don't meet again until July 19th, so this will
Oh.
lay on the table until then, unfortunately, because the solicitor's going to have to look at this and bring back to us a proper document that he's looked at.
Okay,
But that would be the soonest we could actually take the vote,
so July?
July 19th.
Okay.
All right, so I can, assuming we do have a motion, to approve the draft decision special permit modification. Any further discussion?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. I just have a question about the timing. I'm just curious the impact that it'll have to our applicants' business. I mean, it's just signs, it's not, I mean, the signage, and it's pretty straightforward what we talked about this evening. I'm just curious if the applicant would like to speak to the potential impact.
The reason why I asked July, the signs are built. We can't start any of the marketing campaign. With this franchise comes a pretty good commitment of dollars to marketing, but none of that can happen until the signs are up and it's identifiable as a Meineke. So that's why I swallowed a little hard when you said July.
If this was simple sign approval, we could do it on Monday, but it's a special permit modification, which is different, because we're modifying what was in the original permit that was only 2 signs. So by modifying it, we're adding more signs. It has to go to the solicitor to make sure that this document is in proper form. I know we had a long conversation when we dealt with the last one where we rushed it through and we added it to the agenda and, you know, all of that sort of stuff. I don't like the fact that we did that. And it's unfortunate that the timing of the city council is that July and August, we only
Summer
have one
session.
meeting. And that we've had to be able to schedule meetings based on availability. We can take the vote first and then have further discussion. So, all those in favor of approving the modification? And that is 5-0. So, where's my notes? And typically, this would be reported out. I'd ask for a suspension to have it referred
So
on
moved.
Monday, at the next agenda, or the next council meeting, which does happen to be on Monday, but it's not going to get in proper form before then,
You can't get put on the agenda before then, well, technically.
right? The agenda's done and out. I know we rushed, yes, we changed, we added something to an agenda once before, and I could be overruled, but I don't see doing that every time we have this issue to
You know, Madam Chair.
Counselor Ossing.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So, I mean, we don't know what the solicitor's timeline is. If he had time to do it between now and Monday, that would be great. I mean, it is helping a local business in town. I'd like to see that, but again, that's up to the committee, what their thoughts are, and I don't know how busy the solicitor is. But the changes that you've identified, I don't know how long it takes a solicitor to put it in legal format, but those aren't very technically challenging changes, that they're more for completeness, and if he has time, that would be great if he could get it to us, but it would have to come in under suspension because the agenda's already out.
I guess I can have a conversation with him. If he can actually have it done, then maybe he could send it out as soon as he does get it done, so people have it to look at. If he can't, then he'll be
I
the
appreciate the
determining
effort,
factor.
but a lot of money just is sitting there, and we'll miss 4th of July, obviously, but they were, again, I respectfully, whatever can be done, I appreciate.
Okay, so we'll let him be the deciding factor if he can work on this and get it done, then it'll happen. If not, then there'll be the July meeting. Councilor Landers.
Thank you, Madam Chair. You know, usually I don't like to rush things, you know, and jump ahead, but I think, you know, over the years between the school committee and here, you know, the summer changes things a little bit. You know, if we had 2 meetings in July and 2 meetings in August, or even 2 meetings in July, I wouldn't be having this conversation right now. But I hate to see a business in a position that, you know, they can't do what they want to do, what they need to do, you know, for almost 2 months. or 45 or 50 days. So I'd like to, see you use your, power urging the solicitors. Oh, you're chairman. To see what you can do with the solicitor. And I know I would vote Monday night to move this along.
Okay, we'll see what he has to say. I'll talk to him tomorrow, send him the proposed changes that I made, and see what happens on Monday.
It's well
Right.
appreciated, thank you.
Thank you.
We done?
We are done with
Thank you all.
You are welcome to come on Monday, or you'll just get word if it's approved.
Thank
then
you for
can-
anything that can be done.
Hey, Pat, that's our drawing.
I was gonna put it in Karen's office.
Okay, all right, thanks.
What's he gonna do?
You put it back there. All right. The next item on our agenda is order number 21-100-8317, a request for approval of a canopy for the drive-through at Chick-fil-A 36 Apex Drive within the Hospitality and Recreation Mixed-Use Overlay Zoning District. So I guess we have with us the manager, Donna Brown, and the construction manager, Jason. If the two of you would like to come up here and sit in the well, do you have a third person? Sure,
we actually have the operator, franchise operator of that local, of that restaurant.
Okay.
Lawson.
Thank you, Councilor Ossing. So we received lots of drawings. We also received the letter from the building commissioner, which I can read. Please, attached, please find plans to erect a canopy over the existing drive-through at the Chick-fil-A location at the Apex Center. As you might recall, this vendor received one of the two drive-through permits as part of the original special permit. Additionally, in 2016, the council approved an amendment to section 65035. The city council shall retain authority over those aspects of site plan approval for the project which concern, 1, the appearance of buildings and structures, 2, signage, 3, final landscaping design, and 4, the appearance of retaining walls facing public ways. Therefore, the council shall perform, waive, review, and approve or disapprove the design. Should the design be waived or approved, a building permit application will be submitted and processed by this office. Best regards, Tin Tway, the CBO Building Commissioner. So, I don't know if you brought anything with you tonight to have on the screen, or if you're just having us look at what was provided,
The
and
only
you're just
thing we
going to
have is
talk
what
us
was
through it.
provided. You
Okay.
do have copies of the renderings too, correct?
I believe we all have copies of what to me are really just photographs of your site. But Karen did give me, it was hard to see, because I said, what's the canopy going to look like?
Well, the canopy, which I apologize, I thought that you guys already had a copy of this, so I only have 2 with me.
Give one to Karen, she can make copies.
I think, is what you have this?
Yes.
I believe
had
everybody
that.
got this, although I don't know where my copy is, I couldn't find it. So, to me, I still find this hard to visualize.
So the canopies that we're looking at installing over the drive-through lanes, have you guys been to the Chick-fil-A before?
Too many times.
So there is, if you've gone through the drive-through, when you get to the pickup window in the drive-through, there is a canopy overhang over where you would pick up your food in the drive-through window. That's basically what these canopies look like. They look like, just like the awnings, the metal awnings that are on the sides of the Chick-fil-A now, over the windows. So these are metal, flat-roofed canopies, and the purpose of them is to protect his team members from the elements. As I'm sure you're aware, they go out there and they do what we call face-to-face ordering, where they take your orders face-to-face instead of you ordering from the impersonal menu board. Up here with the weather, it's become, a big issue with protecting the employees from the elements. One of the other benefits of putting these canopies up is it's a safety issue. It helps them process the cars through the drive-through quicker, which alleviates the stacking outside, in front of the building and along the entranceway in. So, it prevents people from having to find a more creative way to get in to park. So safety as well as protection of the employees. So the canopies, because of the retaining wall along Boston Post Road, you won't be able to see the canopy from there anyway. You could see the canopy at the pickup window from the adjacent business, but they do blend in well with the look of the building. And again, they match the existing canopies that are there now. So the one that I had mentioned that is over the pickup window, we would be demolishing that canopy and replacing it with the canopy that goes over the pickup window.
Are any questions? Councillor Doucette?
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. So there was a canopy that was put in place at a Dunkin' Donuts that's across from Price Chopper, if you know that area at all, just for reference. And the issue that comes up is basically you have trucks, tall trucks, trying to get through. And you basically need some way of identifying, like, if your truck's higher than this, don't come in here.
And we do,
Okay.
absolutely.
And where would that be within the lake? Because that's not showing up on the map here.
No, it is not. It would be at the entrance. This is a dedicated drive-through lane, so it would be right at the entrance to the drive-through. So it would be a clearance bar that would come up and go over. So if you went through, you would hit the clearance bar.
Okay.
So it will highlight the height of it, which I believe is 9 foot.
9 feet.
Yeah, okay, okay. I mean, for completeness, prefer to have that as part of this, just.
Okay.
Because that is my biggest concern is, specifically that, so, because, the canopy is hidden. No one sees it until it's too late, so.
Absolutely.
And just making sure that gets covered. But aside from that, that's the only concern I really have from this design.
Councillor Wagner?
I have a question about illumination. What kind of lighting system are you thinking about underneath the canopy? And it would be off, I'm assuming it would be off when the business is closed? What's the
Correct.
plan for illumination?
Absolutely, yes. It will be illuminated under there. There are also propane heaters there as well. And it would not be on when they are not in business. It would be turned off.
Propane heaters
There are propane heaters, correct, in the canopy.
in the canopy with the lighting system?
They're mounted underneath
Yeah.
the canopy, gas fed. I know we hear propane, we think,
It's not, there isn't an actual lit, it's not a flame. It's
Right, but
just
so if
like,
something did get by your clearance bar and hit it, you've got a propane system that's going to explode with the destruction of the canopy? Is that a normal, I have to look into that then, is that a normal practice to put propane heaters in a canopy?
yes, it is. Yep,
Right.
yep.
we've actually opened a few restaurants within a 15, 20-mile radius that actually have this exact same system. And where the heaters are located are probably 15 to 25 feet from the entrance to the canopy. So if a truck, with ladders were to hit it, it'd be way shallow of where the actual heaters are. And there are a couple, we can have to look at the specs on it, but there's also 2 safety measures kind of built in as far as shutoffs for the gas that feeds those heaters. And the lighting is LED lighting underneath there.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so to me, looking at this, it's hard to tell exactly how far it sticks out, but I can't believe when I have been there and watched your employees in the drive-through that this is really going to protect them. They're further out than the canopy seems to indicate to me. Am I wrong in
Well,
that?
No, during peak hours, they will start to walk back, but, correct me if I'm wrong, they won't be walking back when it's 0 degrees outside. They'll stay under the protection of the canopy.
Yeah, the original intent is completely for protection in those inclement weather situations. So driving rain, snow, intense sun and heat. It's not intended to cover, that entire lane where those team members are.
Yeah, and in the plan set that you guys had received as well, the canopy for where the order points are, it covers about 2.5 car lengths.
Right, I mean, it covers long way, but width-wise, I guess, was my concern.
Well, it will cover two cars. So it's 2 cars deep, wide, and then it goes 2.5 cars long.
And there's a team member walkway in each lane. That's a dedicated lane to have space for that team member to operate.
So there will be posts that stick out that would be in the drive-through lane?
No. Here, may I approach? The actual plan, so the dashed line shows the canopy, and then the columns are on here as well. And the same thing over here, this one's a cantilever canopy over the pickup window, and the columns are up adjacent to the building.
Okay, so the column and the canopy sticks out from. All right, I guess it is an interesting question. I don't know if the building commissioner realizes that there's propane as part of this project and whether that's an issue.
It is in the plans, and the plans are done by an engineer, so they do meet the Massachusetts building code as well.
Okay. Counselor Doucette? Oh, sorry, I'm going to ask.
That's all right.
No.
Well, I was just going to expand upon what Councilor Doucette was talking about. When this truck goes in, either a truck with ladders or just a box truck, if it hits something, does it set off an alarm? Does it set off a light, a yellow light, a red light, or anything? I mean, how does the truck know that it's too high?
Well, the truck will not be able to go through. There'll be a clearance bar over top of the drive-through entrance. So the truck would not, if the truck were to make it to the canopy, he would basically take off the top part of his truck, because there's a clearance bar that is made of metal that will
Okay,
prevent
so that
them-
clearance bar is pretty solid, pretty sturdy.
Correct.
Good idea. I mean, the reason I say that, we have a bridge over in downtown Westboro that is a railroad bridge. It's a problem all the time. And probably once a month, all you gotta do is watch the Boston news stations, and there's a truck hitting something on Storrow Drive,
Right.
So that would be enough warning that they hit that. I mean, I'm thinking some of your pickup trucks have ladders on top.
Correct. So in theory, they're not going to be able to go past the clearance bar and actually make it to the canopy. And again, the way that the drive-thru is designed is you can't even go past it. I mean, they would literally have to go up on the grass in order to, come around and go around the clearance bar.
Okay. I'm all set, Madam Chair.
Counselor Doucette?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I'd actually like to see the design, and, this was like a rough, this here is like a simple abstract type view of what you're trying to do, but doesn't have any of the details such as, the safety bar, where the propane layout is, stuff like that. I mean, we get designs all the time for gas stations and how extinguishers are set up and all that stuff. So, I don't think there's enough information for me to vote with this now, to be honest. I'd like to see more information brought back.
Okay,
So we can
and
do this in more-
so what exactly do you want to see? You
A
want to see
design.
the design, because, we had submitted plans to the building official, and we were under the impression that that was included in the packet.
No, you
So
have to
my
provide it to the
apologies
city
for that.
council, separate from the plan.
No, I understand that, but I thought that you guys had received a copy of those plans as well. So you want to see more information on the propane system?
Just the whole plan, the whole design.
Okay.
And that's
Just make it
actually,
simple. I mean, I don't remember seeing it, because,
Ms. Foley has indicated that she
Yeah.
did send something, it was like 75 pages, which is probably similar, that's not 75 pages, but it was probably a very
Electronic
detailed
and not hard copy?
document that we would have just
Ignored. I
ignored.
understand. I would have if I were you as well. So, okay. And then you also want to see more information on the clearance bar as well?
yeah, basically, what are the changes that you're making? The design of the changes you're making, clearance
Okay.
bar and all that.
Okay. And would you like to see photos from other locations as well that give you a little bit more information?
That would be helpful.
Yes, it would be, actually.
Yeah, I mean, there is a picture in the packet I think the very last photo is one that looks like it has, you currently don't have a bar, do you?
There is,
a bar.
yeah.
Is a bar on both?
Yeah.
All right, because it almost looks to me like they're different heights. I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, they
Is that the current site?
That is, yeah, that's.
So is the one on the left not the same height as the one on the right? Or is it just,
I think it's the angle.
I think it's the angle.
Yeah, it's a depth
Yep,
thing.
okay,
yep.
because of the different height? All right, so those exist now?
They are, yeah. they're
Okay.
there today.
Because of the issue of when you drive through the canopy that's currently at the pickup window?
Yes,
You want to
right
make
now
sure
we
that
have two
doesn't get
safety
hit?
Points as you come in, and then if you were to hit the ordering points now, they're actually on a swivel, so.
Okay. Counsel Wagner, do you have your hand up?
Yes, I'd like to also add, given the state's commitment to lowering greenhouse gases and the city's commitment to green environments, I would like to understand more what the justification for your proposed increased use of greenhouse gases for a propane heater and a canopy. So I'd like to understand more about why that's necessary.
Why, I'm sorry, I just want to clarify to make sure we're understanding. Why the use of propane period, or why?
Why the use of propane heaters in an outdoor canopy that's, how many, 8 feet high? Is it to keep the cars warm that are going?
No,
What's the
so
purpose?
I can speak to that personally. So we have 2 restaurants, and during the pandemic, we're out there at 0 degrees, so any type of heat helps keeps our fingers warm, so we can.
So people are gonna be standing outside underneath the canopy taking orders?
Yes.
It's not a drive-through window? People are gonna be actually even, so.
To expedite the
So when
whole
it's
process.
when it's 10 degrees below zero, you're gonna have employees out there taking?
We're not gonna be out there at 10 below 0. We follow all the OSHA guidelines, so not at 10 below 0. But
Huh.
we're out there all.
And are your employees currently standing outside taking orders?
Yes.
Why?
Yeah.
That's an interesting model. Thank you.
like an iron, though.
Anybody else with questions, comments?
Just a comment, Madam Chair. I think I'm missing the remote. If we had someone from the building department that was tying in tonight, maybe they could answer some of our questions. But we need these questions answered.
Okay.
All right, so you forwarded to me the document, so you can probably just forward it all again to everybody so that you have, I'm not sure that from my quick scan of it, it's really going to answer a lot of questions because it's a lot of detail, but if we could have the building commissioner at the next meeting so that he's comfortable with it, maybe that will help answer questions too, and maybe the documents that you're talking about, pictures of existing sites.
Yep,
If you can let us
absolutely.
know where they are, maybe where we could go peruse one.
Yeah, there's quite a few
Yeah,
that are
there's quite a
close by.
few. Methuen is operating that way, Woburn, Dedham. Westboro? I'm sorry? Westboro? Not yet. We're going through the process in Westboro right now. Yeah. Framingham is going through the process. It's common practice across the chain. Both of our stores were built before this model went in, so that's why we're applying for it now. Trying to think who else.
Yeah, I mean, all new stores that they're building are built with the canopy systems, as long as, they're able to meet, setback requirements and, any other, specifics to the jurisdiction. So that is the new business plan. So, and they've been doing what they call the face-to-face ordering for quite a while now. That's not something new. And the propane heaters or natural gas heaters, I mean, those are all across the country as well. It's not just in Massachusetts because it's cold. They do it in the South. They do it in the Midwest.
So help me understand, so it's just mind-boggling to me that you have your staff stand outside to take orders, and so that's requiring increased use of fossil fuels where you could, like every other business, have your people inside and people come in and order their chicken. Why doesn't that work? I don't understand why. I mean, I'm concerned about the impact of the community because you want to make your employees stand outside to take orders.
The volume that we've experienced, the blessing of the volume we've experienced as a chain for the last, we'll say, 6 or 7 years, has kind of dictated that. We always have kind of strived to be innovative, and that's what led to us having folks outside expediting the whole drive-through process, and team members outside to help give a better guest experience. Lately, through COVID, we've been drive-through only, and Michael can attest to it. He's the local operator here. He's out there every day with his team, kind of taking orders out there to help speed up the whole process. So the increase in business has led to a lot of traffic issues on a lot of sites, and even safety issues with cars stacking. So the intent of us even putting these canopies out is, again, it's two-pronged. One, for team member safety, and two, also to help those traffic issues to kind of get cars on and off the lot. But it's absolutely a part of our core business to be that, to be the guys who are out there taking orders kind of face to face to help speed the process up and to kind of help give a different touch. So it may seem a little different or a little bit off, but that's absolutely our business philosophy. It's a part of what we do.
Well, it's also, I mean, Michael was saying when we were at the restaurant earlier that the one thing that he's really missed through all of COVID is the fact that he's not able to be inside the restaurant and visiting with his guests and having that personal connection, which is, I mean, and, I work for the architectural firm. I don't, I'm not a Chick-fil-A employee, but it's part of their core values. It's part of their culture. It's part of who they are, that they want to be part of the community and they want to have that face-to-face experience with their customers. So, the canopy system allows them to do that, whether it's raining or snowing or bright sun and too hot. So it's helping them be true to the nature of their culture, of their business. So, I mean, obviously the increase in volume through the drive-through has made it very important that they're able to kind of pull those cars through quicker. Obviously, there's a very small window of when the peak hours are, but it's that face-to-face, which is what they call it. It's face-to-face, and the same thing with the pickup window. I mean, they are hand-delivering the food to the customer, and it's helped decrease incorrect orders because people aren't familiar with the menu and they order incorrectly. So in theory, if you think about greenhouse gases, it's pulling the cars through quicker, which means they're idling less. So it might even be able to be looked at that as a wash, because instead of the car sitting there and idling and increasing greenhouse gases, they're able to go through the line quicker and continue on to their destination. So.
I think if I can make one more point, I think efficiency-wise is why we chose corporately to go with gas heaters rather than electric. Just the BTU output and the efficiency is it's not even close between the gas heaters and the electric.
You could have
options.
solar panels on and have heaters that are energy neutral. Is that even a consideration?
We are, speaking from the corporate standpoint, we are looking at it, but there are a lot of states that will not even let us bring that up in meetings yet in conjunction with a canopy.
Yeah, but we're only talking about Marlborough, so,
I agree.
right. Thank you.
Madam Chair?
All right, Counselor Doucette.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I don't think it makes any sense to put solar panels on the canopy. Actually, on the main building makes incredible sense, just to let you know. I don't want to get into a climate change discussion, but I think that the use of electricity and even a commitment to, zero emission electricity for your organization would actually be beneficial to demonstrate that not only are you taking the community into effect, but you're also addressing the greater good for society as far as reducing the use of fossil fuels for your organization. As far as cars and idle, I mean, there's lots of hybrids there that turn the engines off when they're when they stop. So I don't think that's a valid argument. This structure is coming from on high, and I understand that. We can still express concerns for what's going on here.
Absolutely.
Okay? So, I'm found some document here. I don't see specifically the diagrams for the canopy itself, but looking through it, I have problems right now getting access to the internet. So that's some of the curses I have here. I'm still not comfortable in passing this in one night. Just don't have the information in front of me.
Understood.
Any further? Counselor
No,
Landry?
I think we can wait. First of all, I think we'll probably pass this, and you can be ready to do it before the first snow falls in November, December. But, no, I think we do need someone from the building department and additional material. But you'll be ready before the first snowfall. I think.
Anybody
set.
have a motion?
It would just be a motion to adjourn, wouldn't it? Because we don't postpone.
We're going to keep this in committee. We're going to ask the building commissioner to come to our next meeting, and we're going to have you give us more information.
Absolutely.
And we will set up another meeting and let you know when that will be.
Okay.
And have you come back.
Okay.
And so that you are aware, after Monday's meeting, we don't meet until July 19th as a council.
Okay.
So whether that gets approved at that point or not, depends on how quickly we can set up the meeting and have you come back,
Okay.
okay?
Okay. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, is that a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
It's been moved and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor? That's
raise their
5 to nothing. Michael, before you go, can I get your last name?